And residents in a Pasco County community are mourning the loss of their neighbor who died in an early morning house fire. As News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur explains, they watched helplessly as their friend's home went up in flames.
I spoke to neighbors who knew the couple, and they are struggling to process what happened.
I've seen the house flame on fire.
Heavy smoke billowing into the air, captured on cell phone video by Pearl Tillery, who lives next door to the Bayonet Point mobile home that went up in flames.
My mom and everybody, we were all asleep. We woke up to a knock at the door, and they were yelling for us to get out.
Neighbors woke up in a panic, alerted by banging on doors and the growing cloud of smoke and flames. Investigators say the fire happened just before 3 a.m. on Florida State Drive, just off US 19 in Hudson.
Someone said, your neighbor's house is on fire, and I looked, and then like a big explosion happened, and that's when I ran back inside and woke everybody up.
When Pasco County firefighters arrived at the home, flames had already taken over. Later, they found 2 people dead inside. Neighbors identified the victims as a couple who were described as kind and warm.
And he always come out, no matter what, and give me a big hug. Hey, neighbor.
And investigators continue to investigate the cause of this fire. They believe no suspicious activity was involved. Reporting in Pasco County, I'm Georgia MacArthur, 8 on your side.
Well, developing this morning, former Bucs wide receiver Antonio Brown is wanted on attempted murder charges. The warrant says Brown punched a man at a boxing event in Miami last month and then took a gun from a security guard and ran at the victim before allegedly firing a couple of shots. Now, Brown previously claimed that he was jumped and detained by police before they let him go.
If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
Live, this is News Channel 8 at 7 on your side.
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you for joining us tonight. More protesters who oppose President Trump's immigration policies took to the streets in Tampa today. Along West Columbus and Dale Mabry, demonstrators held up signs that read, "We want equality, not discrimination." Other protesters waved the Mexican flag. Today's small demonstration is just one of many happening nationwide. And demonstrators are also planning more than a dozen protests across the Bay Area this weekend. State leaders have made it clear there will be criminal consequences if protesters break the law. News Channel 8's political reporter Ty Russell explains why some Democrats are concerned about the language used by state officials.
Some of the warnings from Florida Republicans have gone viral, and a Hillsborough Democratic leader says they're sending the wrong message.
Keep your protests peaceful. Do not be afraid to exercise your constitutional right, but just mind yourself, be aware of your surroundings.
That's the advice from State House Minority Leader Fentrice Driscoll. Following protests in California and ahead of demonstrations across the state, some Republican officials gave additional stern warnings.
We also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you.
That was Governor DeSantis this week on a conservative podcast. Brevard Sheriff Wayne Ivey issued this warning on Thursday.
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Driscoll says this type of language is not about safety.
All of the tough rhetoric, I think, is designed to scare people and keep them at home, to prevent people from exercising their constitutional rights, and designed to distract from the Republican own failed policies on immigration.
The Florida Attorney General says the recent election proves otherwise.
The voters last November made loud and clear that we want to ensure law and order. We want to enforce against illegal immigration.
In 2021, Florida passed an anti-riot law, or the Combating Public Disorder Act, which increased penalties for violent protesters. The ACLU says it's unaware of anyone being charged under that law. I'm Ty Russell, 8 on your side.
And we will have complete coverage of this weekend's protest on air and online at WFLA.com.
With growing signs of a financial squeeze from Washington, including potential cuts to Medicaid, SNAP, and FEMA, state lawmakers are preparing not just for state budget cuts, but also for uncertainty in D.C. As News Channel 8's Capitol Bureau reporter Mackenzie Laporte tells us, House and Senate leadership are hoping to protect the state if federal aid dries up.
The state relies on federal dollars for nearly 1/3 of its budget, and any disruptions coming out of D.C. could have a ripple effect here. Not only are lawmakers bracing for state-level budget cuts, but they're also anticipating a potential financial storm from Washington, D.C.
I do not believe in raising taxes. We agree in the opposite, cutting taxes, cutting spending, wasteful spending. What we're doing is we're putting the state in a position that, God forbid, we are in a recession. We are in the 2000s all over again. We have a budget stabilization fund that would be able to backstop and protect Floridians from having to be in an uncomfortable position.
Senate and House leadership say they are leaning on the budget stabilization fund, the state's rainy day reserve, in case of a recession, rising costs, or federal pullback.
We're doing things to make Florida's balance sheet more durable in difficult times, and we're setting more money aside to have as rainy day reserves. If things get difficult, that's a win. That's a win.
But not everyone at the State House agrees that leadership strategy is hitting the right mark.
You don't get to talk about saving money for a rainy day when it's still raining, when it's already raining on the people of Florida.
House Minority Leader Fentress Driscoll saying we shouldn't be cutting funding. We should be expanding the budget.
And it seems to me there's a lot of hot air about this budget stabilization fund. There's a lot of hot air about saving money for a rainy day. But guess what? You only get to do that after you've met all of your other obligations.
The question is, do I believe this budget prepares Florida for what could be coming out of the DOGE cuts or just the changes that come out of Washington, D.C.? And I would say yes.
It's day 102 of the 60-day session. Budget chairs have been working through the week, racing to finalize the budget, which is now expected for a Monday vote. Here at the State House, Mackenzie Laporte, 8 on your side.
Well, look at this. A guinea pig. Now, how cute is that guinea pig? That face is...
His little
everyone
nose,
could
his
love.
nose and lips.
Yes. Why are we talking guinea pigs? Well, it's because the Humane Society of Tampa Bay, has a lot of guinea pigs. And on its Facebook page, it says these sweet, squeaky friends are looking for loving homes. Guinea pigs are social, which make them great companions. So if you want to adopt an adorable new furry sidekick, look at that.
There they are.
Dress them up. Put a hat on them.
I was going to say, do the hats from the pictures come with the guinea pigs that you adopt from the Humane Society?
You know what? We're going to ask right now because Reagan Blessinger with the Humane Society of Tampa Bay is joining us. Thanks for being with us, Reagan. You guys did a really good job of making guinea pigs look adorable and lovable. And I think any kids who see that guinea pig in a hat is like, I want one of those.
Yeah, they're asking their parents right now for it.
Yeah, so the hat does not come with the guinea pig. And absolutely send the link with them so that they can get a bunch of accessories.
Why do you have so many guinea pigs all of a sudden?
We are one of the only shelters that accept guinea pigs. We have a whole room for them. It's called the pig pen, and it's outside in the warmth where they enjoy it. And so when people have to surrender their guinea pigs, they typically bring them to us. And right now, summer, we normally get a lot of
recording in progress.
So we definitely just all at once got a ton of guinea pigs.
Now, obviously, we want to get these to a home, right, where they can stay for forever. But this is a long-term responsibility. How long do they live? What does caring for a guinea pig entail?
Yeah, so they live about 8 to 10 years. Just like any other animal, they need special care. They do have guinea pig food, and then they love veggies. That's like a little part of their diet, and fruits. But they are definitely simpler than a dog or a cat. So we were talking about having it as a first pet. That would be awesome because they're social, they're fun, but they're not a huge commitment. They also, their bathroom is contained, which is nice.
It's
I
the
like
hats.
that.
I can't stop.
Yeah, we can't stop laughing at the hats. You make them very appealing. I know that
You're so cute.
it's common for them to be class pets as well. And like I remember the kids each get to take the guinea pig home for a night. So they're pretty low maintenance, but yet they do live a long time. So who do you think is a good candidate for adopting these? What kind of family?
So you said pets. So teachers would be awesome because they're not teeny tiny that they're gonna run away or be difficult to hold, and they are so friendly. But and then just a family who has the space for them. They don't take very small cages. Their enclosures are pretty large, so have some space, and then just someone who wants to do a little bit of research just to find out more about how to make them really happy and what kind of engagement that they need.
And Reagan, real quick, just so we have it, if someone does want to race down there and get a guinea pig, what do they need to know before they come to y'all?
Yeah, bring a license. And we have a store on site if you don't have a crate or a cage to bring them home, but that will be necessary. You have to have that. And then the adoption coordinators will just ask, do you have any experience with guinea pigs? And then they'll kind of try to help. If the answer is no, give some very specific details.
Okay, well, we hope that we just helped you find homes for those guinea pigs. We'll have to check back with you on that. But we've learned so much this morning, and they're so cute when they eat.
Yeah, and
they
they're
are.
little veggies in their mouths.
Adorable. So we thank you so much for being with us, and keep us updated and let us know how it's going with the adoptions.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
New tonight, a deal for a company to redevelop and operate the St. Pete Municipal Marina has fallen through. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers spoke with some people who live at the marina and share how they are feeling.
The people I spoke with say they were worried about what could have happened if a private company came in and took over the marina. Now they say they have hope for an affordable future in downtown St. Pete. Earlier this year, Mayor Ken Welch chose Safe Harbor Marinas to redevelop and operate the St. Pete Municipal Marina, a place Michelle Cosmitis has called home since 1999. So when you first heard about this deal, what went through your head?
Oh no, I'm going to have to find a new place to live.
But for residents like Sarah and Philip McDonald, it was scary.
The talk has been really just the questions. What would happen?
Thursday, St. Pete City Administrator James Corbett sent this letter to Safe Harbor Marinas saying the city of St. Petersburg is hereby terminating negotiations and the current proposal process. Corbett notified City Council in a memo Thursday saying several changes have occurred since the initial solicitation and selection of Safe Harbor, and we no longer believe that a lease agreement is the best option for the redevelopment and operation of the marina.
We're thrilled about this non-privatization because it would just be our slip rents would triple. Management would do whatever they want. Let's hope we get back on track.
A few boats down, Phillips says the deal falling through is good news.
It probably gives more voice to the people that stay here. They're not pulling strings from New York City, and they'll probably get a better feel of what needs to be done around here.
Back in April, City Council was briefed on the status of the leasing agreement. St. Pete City Council member Brandy Gabbard made her stance clear on how she'd prefer to move forward if the deal fell through.
We're going to have to go back to the drawing board again as far as I'm concerned, because I do not see a world in which at this point in time I am willing to spend $26 million on just the marina.
So what happens now? Well, city leaders say that they will now redevelop the marina, saying that is the best path forward financially and operationally. For now in St. Pete, Nicole Rogers, 8 on your side.